Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Hand up, Shani! Hit it! Coming out to you, Max.
Who's in this side, Max?
Yeah, right.
Come on, Connor, pick a man.
Well done, Seamus. Well done, Kieran. Quickly, Shane. Quickly. Ben Ryan, come back. Well done.
Hello and welcome to everybody who's tuned in so far. We'll be kicking off the show at 12, so leave a comment and tell me where you're listening from.
There is one place in my memory, and in my heart will ever shine. It's that dear old spot, Kildimo, that old town of mine. Go from Limerick back to Tarbert, and from there to Abbeyfale, Newcastle, Western Arda, and from that into Rathgill, through Stonehall and Pallaskenry. All those towns look mighty fine, but I couldn't hold the candle to my own old town.
No, there would have been a massive appeal to Berlin. Yeah, if you read Martin McCarthy's book, there was a massive appeal. Now, I don't know what could have been built in it. It could have been very early. I never saw the massive, but there was a massive.
I have the printing, I can post it, but
No, there would have been a massive appeal to Berlin. Yeah, if you read Martin McCarthy's book, there was a massive appeal. Now, I don't know what could have been built in it.
Chapel 5, is
Go
it?
up the hills, down the hills, and take another left. And you
Turn,
go straight on.
go into the street, go in, you turn again, then you turn, and then you all left and right.
Nobody knows where you're going, Niamh. Where is turn?
And then you get there, and then you're at my
Hello everybody, and you're very welcome to Old Road Radio 2025. This is your host, Niamh O'Brien, and I'm broadcasting live from the Old Road, Kildimo, County Limerick. I'm a musician and I'm a radio producer, and for the last few years I've been roaming around Kildimo-Pallaskenry with my microphone, recording songs and stories and the local soundscape. This is the third Old Road Radio broadcast, and I'm delighted to say that this year's edition is kindly supported by Limerick Arts Office and Creative Ireland. So if you're watching on YouTube, please leave a comment on the stream and let me know where you're listening from. If you're on my website, there should be a little button on the bottom left that might say watch on YouTube, and that'll bring you to the YouTube stream where you could leave a comment. You could also skip all that and you can text the hotline on 087 6922 764, or you can send an email to niamhharpmusic@gmail.com. So we have a jam-packed show lined up. We're going to kick off with some music first. On December 5th, the Kildimo Community Council organised a Christmas concert in Kildimo Church, and it was the first event of its kind here in Kildimo, and the Community Council did a really excellent job at organising such a lovely event for the local community. So I'm going to play two pieces that were performed live on that night. The first is Winter Song, and that was played by Juan Carlos and the Azo Sisters. That's the Azo Parodies of Ballyculhan. And following that, we'll have Pashbells Canon, which was performed by the Fadas, which is Ito O'Donnell, Paddy O'Neill, Niamh Carroll, Timmy McKenna, Noreen Nash, Dan Davitt and Maria Hughes.
This is my winter song to you. The storm is coming soon, it rolls in from the sea. My voice a beacon in the night, my words will be your light to carry to me. Is love alive? Is love alive? Is love? They say that things just cannot grow beneath the winter snow, or so I have been told. They say we're buried far, just like a distant star I simply cannot hold. Is love alive? Is love alive? Is love alive? This is my winter song. December never felt so wrong. 'Cause you're not where you belong. Inside my arms. Bum 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 bum. I still believe in summer days. The seasons always change and life will find a way. I'll be your harvester of light and send it out tonight so we can start again. Is love song to you. The storm is coming soon, it rolls in from the sea. My love will begin in the night, my words will be your light to carry you to me. Is love alive? 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 Is love alive?
Hello to the McGarrigles listening in the beautiful Clahan, County Kerry, and hello to Cathy O'Connor and family who are also listening in, and Steve Ryan of Ballyvareen also listening in Kerry. We have a great Kerry contingent as per usual. We're going to move over the road now from one church to another. Kildimo Church is a local historical site just off the N69. Derek Cahill, who is a local mine of information and member of the Kenry Historical Society, brought me through the fields for a look at this beautiful building.
No.
So what are we looking at, Derek?
We're looking at the west doorway of Kildimo church, which is probably the earliest church in this area, dating from around the year 1000. Experts vary a little as to when exactly it was built. It's a single chamber church, and there's a small east window. It's probably the equivalent of the ones down in Kerry, the ones that have the corbelled roof, but this didn't have a corbelled roof.
And what do we know about the people who worshipped here, or what do we know about it?
Very little. There's another one fairly similar to this one in Kilrush, near Barrington's Pier in Limerick. They're near Villiers School, kind of similar probably in age and in construction. I think this church may have been repaired a little by the Earl of Dunraven in the middle of the last century. Some people kind of were keen to prevent further decay, but of course then would destroy certain evidence as well. Kind of well-intentioned repairs were often didn't help sometimes, but it was well-intentioned.
So would there always have been an awareness that this was a historical site?
I would think so. In the folk memory, the Killalta, I think some people called it Untampeline, the temple, little temple. Because I don't know whether this was used as a Killeen or not. I don't think, there's no tradition, but lots of church ruined churches were sometimes used as places to bury unbaptized children and things like that. I don't think that tradition exists here, but it could be a lost tradition. But there always was an awareness that it was a church, and it had been a church here. So we'll just walk around it.
Yeah. Martin O'Corby was a local historian and school teacher who published his book Kenry in 1975. In his account of Killalta Church, he states that it was given the name Killalaton in the Black Book of Limerick, which covers the period 1194 to 1362 AD. Historians of the 18th and 19th century named it as Killaltrig, Killan and Lotter. It has also been named Killan Ultig, the Church of the Ulstermen, and Killultan, the Church of St. Ultan. Some sources also connect the church to St. Diarma, the patron saint of the parish, but we don't have evidence to support this. There are stories in O'Corby's book that support the idea that it was a place of internment, and there are sources that dispute it. Overall, like many ancient historical sites, there's more mystery than fact. Its names and stories have changed over time. But the thing that has always stayed the same, of course, is its position in the landscape.
But we're on a piece of high ground, and you have a good view, I'd say. On clear days, you could probably see the river if the tide is up, but use the lake there as well.
And you'd also have a good view of Dromore from here, would you?
Yeah, but Dromore is 1,000 years later. Dromore goes up in 1867. This is here from around the year 1000 or a bit after. So
they wouldn't have been connected?
No connection was, except Godwin, the architect of Dromore, as far as I know, did drawings of this church. But because when he came here to build the castle, he took lots of drawings of buildings, of ancient buildings. And I think he did measure drawings of Killalta. He also did drawings of Shanpallas Castle, which he called Old Dromore. And he did drawings of Carrigagunnel, I think, and the Rock of Cashel. I mean, anything. He had his notebook going all the time, and then often used details from these buildings in Dromore and in other works. He took details from Skeeton Castle and put them on the window seats and the squinch that various little details he always used. You copy and reuse. And again, the general outline has details from the Rock of Cashel, a square tower, a round tower, and a rather nice outline. Yeah.
Have you always had an interest in buildings?
Yeah, I've been interested in architecture for a long time. Yeah.
Is there something about historic buildings?
Yeah, but I'm interested in modern buildings as well, and simple buildings.
Yeah.
Buildings without architects, as Dostoevsky called them.
Like this beautiful, simple building.
This very simple, robust building. It's very plain, but it has a charm all of its own.
Yeah, and it has stood the test of time.
It has stood, exactly.
Yeah. Kildimo measures 16 foot long and 9 foot 10 inches wide, with walls that are 2 foot 8 inches thick. A small structure that has withstood immense change. So as you speed along the N69, know that it is there for 1,000 years looking down at us and will hopefully outlive us all. We're going to stick in the historical vein now, and I have a track from the archives. Carmel Griffin very kindly shared a CD with me a few years back of reel-to-reel recordings that were made in the Seven Sisters of some local singers during the 60s and 70s, and I'd love to know if somebody could put a name to this beautiful voice.
A group of young soldiers one night in a tent were talking of sweethearts they had. All would be glad, but for one Irish lad who looked very downhearted and said, I say, won't you join us? Said one of the boys. Surely you love someone too. He lifted his head and proudly he said, yes, I'm in love with you. One has hair of silvery gray, the other has hair of gold. One is young and beautiful, the other is pink and old. Those are the two that are into a story of long ago. A holy vision as prophets told, an angel telling of heaven's plan, prepare the way for God made man. There is the place of birth, while angels singing resounds on earth. Midnight clear, on bended knee.
We've no definite name on that first singer. One suggestion has been Marie O'Brien. We'll have to check that with her. Following that, we had Anne Liston and the Kildimo Church Choir singing at the concert on December 5th. Couple of hellos. Hello to Old Road listeners on the Old Road Radio, Kieran O'Brien and family, and John O'Brien, thanks for listening in. Hello to the Careys listening in Kilmarine, the Murphys in Ballyhara, County Kerry, and Louise and Kathleen Donlan listening in County Longford. So we've gone nationwide. Now, the winter months have long been associated with playing soccer in this parish. And while the stories of the GAA are often celebrated and shared, I didn't feel like I knew a whole lot about the local soccer club. I sat down with Kevin O'Neill, Dahi Quilty, Tony O'Brien, Andrew Staff and Pat Burke to find out where it all began. And Kevin starts by pointing out that a poor season in the GAA was sometimes a spark to start up the soccer.
We'd get knocked out of a first round of an under 14 or an under 18. And that was us out of the championship. No hurling for the rest of the year then. There was no league, no nothing. No. Here it was, if you formed a league in soccer, we knew nothing about soccer. I didn't anyway. And but at least you'd be playing every Sunday. And that was basically why I thought it was a good idea to start a soccer club in Kildimo.
So who can remember when it started or how it started?
It started in Slattery. There was a chat there between 3 or 4 guys that were Saturday night.
What year was that?
Well, I reckon it's to somewhere August or September. August maybe 65.
The first meeting, Pat Burke chaired the first meeting.
I was approached by David Gleeson. Would I go to a meeting in Kildimo Hall as a guard starting a soccer club with Kildimo? I said, I have no problem. I'll give you all the information you want, I said.
That was our problem, yeah.
And about affiliations and everything, which I did.
Pat had the knowledge to share as he'd been instrumental in setting up a soccer club in Clorina known as the All Blacks. And that club, now known as Bresco Rovers, is still going today.
We were the same as they were. Nothing to do with idle minds. Of a Sunday morning, you had Donald Callahan from Pallaskenry, Marky Lynch, myself, Pat Lynch, the lot of us in him now, passed away there lately, a couple more. We decided we start a soccer club there and then. And we did.
After you chaired the first meeting,
yeah,
you arranged that we would go over and play at the All Blacks.
That's right, yeah.
And I remember we went over on bicycles and some of us ran over. And talking about positions in the soccer team, I hadn't a clue about playing a corner back, left corner back, or centre half, or all these positions. All I know is that we played the All Blacks over in Clorina. It was in the field opposite where my house is built. And we were all running up and down chasing the ball because we knew nothing about positions at the time. But obviously, it was our first outing. It was against the All Blacks.
Or did you train, or who trained you, or how did you get ready?
No training that time. And you just had you a pair of boots, and had you a pair of boots. If we're lucky, if we had a pair of boots, well, you would have to go in and buy a pair or something. But it was casual. Like we were only starting out,
And did you have a pitch at this stage?
That was the low side. Only for Jack Horgan would have no pitch. Jack Horgan, the back of Jack Horgan's house.
Jack Horgan was the first pitch.
That was the first pitch.
Yeah.
But then they stayed there for 12 months. They said the spring of that year, then I think somebody was looking for hay or something, the pitch. So then we went down to Paddy Joe Oaks.
That became famous because we could tug out inside in Jack's house. But the opposing team, the travelling team, would have to tug out inside the cowhouse. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
In the old house?
Yeah, but it was better than nowadays. So for a finish, they didn't have anything side of the road.
I remember one day there was a big match down there, and Jack Horgan had. It was bad weather at the time, very cold, and Jack Horgan had a big pot of soup.
He would.
And
and a lint stick from.
Wait a minute.
And when the match would be over, the two teams would be inside in the kitchen, and put the mug into the pot of soup, and there could be anything else inside in it. I remember battles of stockings were inside in it. Were inside in the bowl of soup one day.
Passing by, threw the sock into the bar. After coming off, tagging off, and the opposing team came in and they
getting the soup.
After using Jack Goggins Field for a period, the club then used O'Rourke's. They used a field at Griffin's, Slattery's, and then the pitch that still stands there today. Unlike GAA clubs, which had strong membership and a countrywide organisation behind them, the soccer club had to make do with whatever spaces they could find. The GAA was at a low ebb in Kildimo in the late 60s, however, which may have led to more people joining the sport.
The GAA was very weak at the time. They were weak. I don't know. There was even that particular year. I think they went out of existence one year.
66 that time.
That time, 66.
Yeah.
And you see, there was nothing to do, and people felt like starting the club. But
And would the ban have been enforced then?
oh, the ban was there.
The ban was there that time. The ban was there.
Rule 27 of the GAA, also known as the ban, was a rule in force from 1905 to 1971 that banned members of the GAA from playing or watching other sports such as rugby, soccer or hockey. Andrew's staff once met the wrath of this ban.
I got suspended looking in over the dike as a soccer match. The ban was there at that time. A minor soccer match against Tralee. They were playing Kildimo, and I was inside. Yeah, I was watching them inside, and who comes up behind me? Stevie Gleason and Pat Barry. And they says to me, "You're watching a soccer match in there." Took my name, and I got suspended for 2 months. And I was only a minor. And they left me at home at the side of the road, and they used to take Michael because he was playing. He played all sports as well, but at the time he was overage for minor. But I didn't even play. I was watching it from outside the wall. I got banned. Yeah. But what the old fella didn't say to him.
That's the way it was, you know. There was a little bit, you know.
Well, it was still considered
it was
a
titchy,
game,
like, you know,
wasn't it? You know,
then the other side of it was they would have to have a couple of dances then, of course.
Oh, they were brilliant.
Both to try to make money, to try and buy a set of Ganses. The Ganses, we'll say, were important. We were nearly waiting 12 months for the Ganses, but they had the hoedowners in the skating.
That's right.
Sean Dunphy.
Nobody.
No, I don't know how much that cost. David Gleason was in charge of that.
They were one of the top bands.
They were one of the top bands at the time.
And it was the midweek they were there, wasn't it?
And Davy said, "Well, if we don't make money, we'll all have to come together, lads, and pay the band." But it worked out okay. But it was good.
They made a small fortune out of it.
We made over 100 quid.
The DIY mentality was strong in soccer in those days. You had to find space, funding, and of course players from everywhere.
We went everywhere now for players.
Well, I was going to come up with that myself.
And you didn't have to, because that was one subject I was watching. Because we done it from the very beginning. We searched every place and we got players. You had to go outside the parish to pick up a player that someone would know something about. And there was nobody.
Was fellas to be working in buildings and fellas to be working in factories, and there might be a fella going loose and they say, "Well, would you like to come and play and sign for?" He might stay for 12 months and then he might move on and he might give it up, and you know that's the way it went. But he kept the thing going. That's what the thing there.
Do you know that?
You know, and it wasn't expensive, but it wound up expensive because when you're in competition.
Did you know
when you're in when you want to try and win a competition, you have to get a little bit more serious after a couple of years. So you'd have to get a few decent players in, and it just worked for maybe that year in 71. Was it 71? Yeah. So.
Who was that team of 71?
One.
This is Andrew reading from the programme of the Shield final between Foynes and Kildimo in March 1971.
Michael McMahon was the keeper. Yeah. Let's say a very reliable keeper. Always present.
Always present, for sure.
And secretary of the club. I said myself, then Andrew's staff are very fine, but very, very weak at times. Billy Shaughnessy, one of the founder members of the club, a strong half-back. Tony Cregan at Linman. Tony is one of the best centre-halves in the league, also a member of this season Desmond League team. Kieran Battles, a versatile player, now plays usually at midfield. I thought they were going to say more about him than that, but they didn't. John Loftus, an ex-All Black player. He did. Can play in any position and has now settled into the back four. Jerry Butler, a very fast and tricky winger, also packs a powerful shot. Joe Purcell, a very fine goal grabber, also a member of this season's DL team. Michael Staff, captain of the side, an ex-Home Farm player, a strong and I'd never see skillful forward. David Quilty, oh Jesus, is here. A very strong forward with a powerful shot, and he could break the two posts. Donny Duck Shaughnessy, a very fast forward, usually a winger. Liam Purcell, strong inside forward, also plays in the back four. Willie Cusick, a dangerous inside forward.
I was thought he played in goals. No.
He did it once, Dad.
Did he?
He did. And there was a Michael O'Regan, he was from Croom, a recent club signed, a fast right winger. Jerry O'Shaughnessy, only 17, but a very promising inside forward. Tom Perryman, do you remember Tom Perryman? He was in the college. He was also signed. I don't think he ever played there. He plays up front, it says here. But Brendan Broderick, he was only 15. He didn't play either, so that was the team.
There were some great games. When we go back, like, I remember a soccer match below. Do you remember when Pallaskenry were playing down below?
I do. To go down to Ring
Road,
yeah.
There was good matches.
Kildimo and Pallaskenry played there one day. Well, there was a huge crowd. I mean, a huge crowd.
They were a bit better than us.
Pallaskenry were a good team.
They were a good side, but we could manage Pallaskenry. After they beat us, but we could beat them, you know. But there was other teams in, like Celtic Rangers, we couldn't beat them.
No, you couldn't beat them.
And we draw with them, but we couldn't beat them.
Yeah, they were good.
And was there rivalry between Kildimo and Pallas soccer-wise?
Great rivalry. And there was a lot of pub rivalry about and politics, as Andrew said.
I remember playing Pallas one day anyway, and I suppose I had a bit of speed. I could run quick, but the Doc Nail met me at about 100 miles an hour, and I'm still picking the thorns out of the landed me inside the hedge, took me clean to not near the roadside.
Yeah.
Oh, the horse, I wouldn't go near him. I took the top and go outside. That's like you have no legs in the horse.
I just got a message there that Davy Gleeson, who the lads mentioned, who was so instrumental in those early days of playing soccer, passed away just this morning. So we're thinking of all the Gleesons today. Good to remember him and what a legacy he has left us. And we're going to hear from that legacy now. Check, 1 2 1 2.
I can hear you. Wait, where's Quiva? Okay, Quiva, I'm going to interview you about
You
soccer.
have to ask her name first.
What is your Okay, Quiva, what is your name?
Here we are with the next generation of players. Kildimo-Pallaskenry put their rivalries aside and in 2022 amalgamated. I spoke to some of the members of Dromore United under-12 girls team a few weeks back.
Why have you come to soccer tonight on this cold evening?
Because I wanted to, and there was no electricity all day, so I want to get out of the house.
Very, very nice. And what's your name, young lady?
Zoe.
And why have you decided to come to soccer training tonight?
Because I wanted to get active.
What are you going to do at training then, lady?
Probably some running drills and a match.
Do you want to tell me your names really quickly?
Oh, Sophie Culhan, Ella Culhan, Molly Gannan, Brittany McNamara, Anya Hoodis, Michaela Tuig.
Where are we this evening?
At soccer training.
A really cold one.
Yeah, why are you not sitting cosy by the fire? Why are you out here training?
Because we love training with our friends, it's fun.
What do you love about coming soccer training?
It's just really fun.
Yeah, it's very enjoyable.
I don't know, the
Be with your
matches
friends
and stuff, and not having to do homework.
And how long have you played with Dromore United?
Only a few weeks for me.
What about you?
It only opened 2022.
And tell me about your trainers. Are they really tough?
No, not really. They do some shouting. Kevin does.
And have either of you ever scored a goal in a game?
Yeah, I scored like at all of the matches in under 10s, but I'm kind of gone bad at it. So like, yeah, I haven't scored. I had a few assists, but not goal. All in under 12s.
And what does it feel like to score a goal in a match?
It feels good, and like especially if like you're losing and then like you make your team win, it makes it better.
And can you tell me about the best match you had?
Probably the one a few weeks ago when we like won for the first time in like 2 years.
Tell me about that. Who were you playing against?
Wait, who were we playing against? Rakiel.
And were you on the pitch that day?
Yeah.
What was it like?
Well, when we scored the goal, we were kind of like excited, but then we were kind of like panicking, so we didn't want them to concede. But then when we heard the final whistle, we just went crazy.
What is your name?
Niamh O'Brien.
Why did you join soccer?
Because it's one of my favourite sports. Most of my friends joined it when they were younger, so they were saying, "Oh, you should try it. It's very fun." So I decided to join it, and then ever since I've liked it. It's one of my favourite sports, but kick it around. I like getting tough with people, so interactive.
Are you going to keep playing soccer, do you think, when you're in secondary school?
Yes.
And do you think you'll end up playing for Ireland when you're bigger?
No.
Let's try that again. Do you think you'll end up playing for Ireland when you're bigger?
No.
Okay, you better go to work now.
Yes.
Bye, Niamh. 1, 2, who are you? 3, 4, we're Dromore.
Love this track from Glenamede DJ Jack Ward. It's called Apple Gaze. Before that, we had a couple of tunes from myself, Pat McGargle on fiddle and Sean Williams on guitar. A couple of shout outs. Hello to Anne Morgan, Yana Marie Garb and Maeve Galvin. They're all listening in Pallaskenry. Hello to Catherine O'Grady listening in Adair, and Valerie and the Macaulays listening in Kildimo. Dennis O'Brien suggests that the mystery singer might be Jacqueline McKenna. He could be right. We'll have to confirm with her. We are going to stick with the younger generation now, and we're going to hear from a young up-and-coming group called the Cousin Crew. Current members include Abigail O'Brien, Alex O'Brien, Evelyn O'Brien, but the membership is growing all the time. They even have members in Abu Dhabi. They have written what you might call a protest song, and it's called Bring Back the Old Road, in response to recent structural changes on the Old Road Kildimo.
Bring back the old road, that's what we've been told. We want no footpaths, sidewalks, streetlights or your fancy talk. We miss the darkness, looking at the stars, all these rangers coming with their cars. Banana, 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 banana. We're gonna rip up the sidewalk, take down the lights. We're gonna do it in the middle of the night.
Nobody knows, 'cause they weren't told.
We did it anyway, we did it for the road. Where you old road, this time bring back the old road. That's what we've been told. We want no footpath, sidewalk, streetlights are your fancy talk. We miss the darkness, looking at the stars, all these strangers coming with their cars. Banana, 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 banana.
So, where did the idea for the song come from?
Well, it came from... I came over from California to Ireland, and I came and I said, what the heck, everything's different, because on the road that my Nana lives on, there was a footpath, street lights, and this perfect road. So that's where we got the idea. So, like, bring back the old road.
Yeah, the way things used to be.
Yes,
Yeah.
the way things used to be.
And Alex, you live on this road. What do you think of the new changes?
Well, I live on the other half of the road. So we don't have the street lights or the fancy footpaths. But my Nana's house used to never be like this. It used to be a normal road like us with none of these fancy things. And it's just changed a lot.
Do you like it with the footpath and the lights?
I preferred the old way.
What do you think of it, Evelyn?
It has never been the same anymore, and now we can't park our cars usually.
Okay, yeah, it's changed the parking situation. You have something else to say, Alex?
Since I live down the road, I cycle up to my Nana's, and the footpath is nice, but normally we just cycle on the road because the road's pretty smooth. So, but it is handy for all the people that walk usually. So, it is very handy for them, and it's just, I don't know, it's changed a lot. Been coming here for a long time.
So, like Alex said, you can ride your bike on the footpath, but riding your bike on the road is like a thought of, hey, I'm grown up now, I can ride on the road. But now you can't do that because your parents are like, oh, there's a sidewalk now, or you have to go on the footpath.
Mm-hmm, yeah. But, you know, very good for a scooter, I'd say.
It's good for a scooter, yes.
Yeah. Okay, Evelyn, you something to add?
In America, there are like road footpaths, like it's like a bike lane, so you can like go on the bike lane. So I think I think I need the old road back.
Yeah, but maybe with a bike lane.
With a bike lane.
Change can be hard, Sometimes we want our surroundings to stand still and be frozen in time, but of course that's not possible. But some people hold the keys. They have the memory to remind us how things were before. Here's Kathleen King chatting with me a few years back about her memories of Ringmoylan. Have you been coming to Ringmoylan a long time?
I've lived all my life in the same place. So we'd come here as children, but as children there was a swimming pool there. Do you remember that? And a local man in the village, Jimmy Welsh, used to have a shop here, a mobile shop. I mean, years ago, it was popular. I mean, when you'd come down the hill there, the cars would be at both sides of the road. You know, you couldn't get down. Everyone from the city, everybody came here on a Sunday. Just be thronged. Everyone was swimming and all that kind of thing. So we'd always come here, yeah.
So great memories.
Oh, God, yeah, yeah. And at night time, there was always great memories here too. Yeah, just a place where every couple hung out. You know what I mean? Because you had no place else to go.
Oh God, yeah. They used to come down to count the lights, and there was no lights there. If you know what I mean.
The lights across the way now. He's talking
That's what he used to say. What are you going down to Ringmoylan for? What? To count the lights.
The local guard come down. He'd be gone. What are you doing? He'd be gone out. Wouldn't he be gone out knocking shotguns?
Of course, we never come down there. She was in Katie.
No. And then as the cars got more popular and other places got more popular, it died off. But now since the lockdown, we're not quite back to that, but you can see it all picking up again and people socialising here in the evening times. A lot of the older men living on their own comes here to meet somebody, to talk to. And so it's kind of back up now again, you know. Lots of picnics and things. So that's great again to see that, you know.
There we had Stefan Kaiser on trumpet, Ciara McGargle on piano, Pat McGargle on double bass, and myself on the harp at a house concert in the McGargle O'Shaughnessy House in 2022. We are staying in Ringmoylan now, and I called down on Christmas Day and met Tony and Catherine Noonan, Simon Whale and Tom McMahon, who were warming themselves after their Christmas dip.
Oh, we're just having a quick dip, being Christmas Day, we get into the festive spirit. So we had a nice crowd. I'd say we must have had 12, 15
swimmers.
or more, every 20 even. Yeah. Coming at different stages, we're subject to the tide. Yeah,
So does every Christmas day look different depending on the tide?
The
tide,
yes.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
on the tide.
Yeah.
And it was a good tide today.
It was a nice tide today because of being around 2ish. People say come down and go home then have the dinner. So
the weather was nice as well. It was kind today to us, so it was beautiful.
Now, even if it had been pouring rain, would you have been here?
Yes, we would. Yeah. So it's a tradition. We go out, whatever the conditions are. We're not.
But we
we're
wouldn't
not
be
out
chatting
that
to
long.
you because we're half home.
You would have been in and out.
In, out, bye-bye. Going to see the Brussels sprouts.
Whereas
We've been
today
sorting
being
them
so
out.
mild, people were to stay around and have the chat, which is
Yeah.
very important as well.
Yeah. Is that what the swim is all about?
Yeah, it is. It's a bit of a catch-up. Yeah, no, it's a slightly healthy thing to do on a very unhealthy day. Really, is it? And kind of convince yourself, then you can go and eat lots of stuff. Yeah, but you do that really, and then you just kind of. But the catch-up's lovely. Like we haven't really been swimming as much since COVID. Like COVID, it was like we were all down here all the time, and now we're just.
No, I think the weather during the summer wasn't great. That kind of a lot of choppy water, wasn't there? And
there was funny tides and choppy water, and the weather was a bit all over the place.
Yes, yeah. We had a lot of wind, and it was a north wind or a northwesterly wind, which means here that you have a lot of higher waves at this side because it's coming across the estuary. So it wasn't very pleasant for swimming or for kayaking.
And how was the water today?
Cold.
Beautiful, calm, flat.
Tom is used to it. We're out of practice.
Yeah. It was fine, yeah, when you get out and you have a sauna by the side and have a drink. It's lovely down there.
That's the future,
Yeah,
Simon. That's the future. We're not there yet.
It was cold. Myself and Tony haven't been in for a long while, so it's much colder. Tom's been in 2 weeks ago, so he's more used to it. Yeah. You really notice it when you stop coming.
You would. Once you stop, your temperature, you're not used to the temperature, so when you continue, so it's lovely today, and it's so calm and clear, it's beautiful.
So you've been coming here consistently?
I would try, yeah, so it's lovely. Yeah, as much as we can, and again, it's so tidal and it's weather dependent. So
it helps when it's on your doorstep.
Yes, it's true.
How close are you?
Just up the road, a small bit up the road.
At the back of the bush.
Small bit up the road there, so it's lovely.
So when you see a nice sunset, you say?
We can, yeah. And my kids love it too. My kids love coming down here and just jumping in, so it's a lovely tradition to have with them as well. So they were buzzing.
Yeah. He pays me yearly membership. We only do monthly.
You're fair weather.
We are very fair weather, really. Yeah.
And did you have to coax yourselves in today a little bit?
No. It's
eased ourselves in.
There's the power of numbers as well, so there's more here and they haven't been here, or maybe it's a tradition and an annual thing for some people even, so yeah.
You'd be worried about what would be said if you weren't here.
Yeah.
You have to be here, wouldn't miss out.
Yeah.
And how long has the Christmas swim been going on?
7 or 8 years.
Yeah. I'd say even before COVID we started doing it.
We did.
Yeah.
And then the GA girls did a
charity event there at the beginning of December.
And that really helped. And COVID, it was the only place we could meet, really, so that really took off. And then it's just slid a little bit, but hopefully we'll get back into it. Yeah.
And you'll definitely be here next year.
Yeah.
And New Year's Day. We try and do Christmas Day and New Year's Day as much as we can.
Yeah. Tempted yourself to bring your costume along and try next year?
I just forgot it today. Just today.
You and a lot of other people.
Yeah.
The swimmers are not our only river residents, of course. There's a whole world under the tide. Our sea creatures, members of our parish. Some of them have certainly been here long enough. The humpback whale currently hanging around the estuary might just be passing through, might just be looking for shelter. But we have more seasoned residents as well, the dolphins for example. I met with marine biologist Niamh O'Brien to talk about the estuary dolphins.
So the dolphins that are here in the estuary are probably here for hundreds of years. If you go back into the early Christian writing and stories from St. Senan and the banishing of the Caha, that was the sea monster that was supposed to be banished. And the descriptions of them probably are dolphins. So those animals are here for a very long time. The estuary here is designated as a special area of conservation, so it highlights the importance of this area The dolphins here are resident. It means that they stay here all year round. There's only very few places around Europe and around the world that you have resident groups of dolphins. Like, we have individuals that are here for 30, 40 years that we know of since monitoring started. It's also really important because it's a calving area, so the dolphins have their young here. So you can see, small, very small bottlenose dolphin calves here in the estuary with their mums during the summer, which is, really amazing to see.
Tell me what their soundscape is like. What do they hear?
So they have a really broadband soundscape. They can hear from very low frequencies up to very high frequencies. So they communicate with each other by whistling. They also echolocate, and echolocate just like bats echolocate. It's above our hearing range. They are basically using sound to see in their environment. So they are able to produce these very fast repetitions of clicks, and the clicks go out into the marine environment. They bounce off fish, rocks, the bottom. If you think about it, those animals, when they're in the estuary here, it's a very dark, murky environment. It's river water, so they have to be able to hunt in that environment, and it's all through sound that they're doing that. It's not through sight. If the mother and calves are here in the estuary and they are trying to stay with each other, that mother has to try and protect her calf. And the main source of communication between the two of them is going to be through sound and those whistles. You can see how sound is so important in an area like this. And I guess it's hard to kind of sometimes understand that then when you start to see other kind of anthropogenic sources going in there and how it can disrupt those types of scenarios.
This is an underwater recording of a trawler moving through the estuary. And this is the sound of a seismic explosion. When we look at the estuary, we might see a calm, silent surface, but below that is a cacophony of sound that's due to get louder with increased industrialisation. We've come to the end of the show. I got a message from Maura Hearn, who believes that the mystery singer might be her aunt, Josie Hayes. Josie sang at Maura's wedding, and so she has a gut feeling it could be her. I'd like to thank everybody who listened in. Hello to Jim, hello to Maeve, hello to Ina. It's been wonderful to have such a large company of listeners here today. I'd like to say thank you to Limerick Arts Office and Creative Ireland for supporting this year's broadcast. And thank you to everybody who shared their stories with me and took the time to talk to me, as well as everybody who listened here today. The broadcast will remain on this link, so feel free to share it with potential listeners far and wide. And you can also listen back to Old Road Radio 2023 and 2024. They're also online and on my website. So after all that, who are the inhabitants of Kildimo-Pallaskenry, and what makes up our local soundscape? Is it the members of our teams and clubs? Is it memories of the past? Is it hopes for the future? Is it the people we don't know yet? Is it all the living things, the grass, the flowers, the vegetables we grow, the cattle we feed, the whales passing through, the dolphins who've been here for years? I like to think it's all these things. It's all the stories going on inside houses I haven't listened to, I haven't visited. It is languages I don't speak and ancient stone walls I haven't even noticed. There's so much to hear. So to all my listeners, new and old, I say welcome. Go out and listen and be amazed by what you might find. I wish you all a happy new year. Let this be a year of rambling and knocking on your neighbours' doors, a year of jubilee. I'm going to finish now with a song called Jubilee by the wonderful Irish-American band called Doug. Well, here's to love and here's to hope, here's to loss and letting go, here's to hitting off the mark, here's to the changing of the guards that comes around. Here's to shame and here's to glory, here's to brand new origin stories, here's to taking flight and falling, here's to getting back up and walking, it'll come around. Well, can't you feel it, can't you see, it's the year of Jubilee. Grab your shovel, let's get going, there's no one way of knowing. Can't you feel it, can't you see, it's the year of Jubilee. Well, here's to hurting, here's to travelling, here's to burning and dismantling, here's to holding your composure, here's to letting instinct take over, it'll come around. Here's to swinging at apparitions, here's to hitting the deck and missing, here's to wiping off your brow with a bloody butcher's towel, it'll come around. Well, can't you feel it, can't you see, it's the year of Jubilee. Grab your shovel, let's get going, there's no one way of knowing. Can't you feel it, can't you see, it's the year of Jubilee. Well, here's to endless conversations, here's to late night observations, here's to plans made in the dark, here's to hitting off the mark, it'll come around. Here's to lines and here's to clues, here's to the love I made for you, here's to the home we'll build together, here's to the door we'll paint bright yellow, it'll come around. Well, can't you feel it, can't you see, it's the year of Jubilee. Grab your shovel, let's get going, there's no one way of knowing. Can't you feel it, can't you see, it's the year of Jubilee. Can't you feel it, can't you see, it's the year of Jubilee. Happy New Year.